me. What it's like for a nigga like me. Like me. What it's like for a nigga like me. Like me. What it's like for a nigga like me. Like me. What it's like for a nigga like me. Gray skies overhead, this isn't looking likely, but I try to do the right thing like Spike Lee, and I talk to God, the one and almighty. Lord, please have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. Yeah. Lord, please have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. Man, this shit ain't no joke, man, this shit ain't no joke. Like the boy cry wolf, I ain't blowing no smoke. You don't gotta look far to see it ain't no hope in this fucked up world. I'm just trying to stay afloat. I grew up in the ghetto in the middle of the streets, Hell, the belly of the beast. Thanksgiving came around, I wasn't having no feast when the landlord talking about breaking out lease. Goddamn, what's next? My girl broke up with your boy and she did it in a text that if I couldn't have nothing that I could have love besides love for the money and selling these drugs. Sometimes it seems like it's the only way out, but every day I'm getting older and it's getting played out. Can't end up in a pen trying to find a way out. Lord, forgive me for my sins, for my heart gave out. My dad died, biggest loss I ever had to take. He a big part of the reason I'm the man I am today. And moving on was a move I wasn't trying to make, but I got sons now, so I gotta lead them not astray. And even though success is looking unlikely, I stay mighty and pray nightly and remain doing the right thing like Spike Lee, which is hard in this life for a nigga like me. All my life I had to fight like my name's Sophia. Always had heart and in my heart was no fear. Boy, I stayed in some trouble always stayed near. When you black in America, that's all you cold here, I can't lie. Some days I wanna break down and cry for me and my people that's fighting to stay alive. Cause living ain't living when you live it to survive. Yes, we living in hell till the heavens arrive. Nah, I mean, what it's like for a nigga like me. Like me. What it's like for a nigga like me. Like me. What it's like for a nigga like me. Like me. What it's like for a nigga like me. Like me. What it's like for a nigga like me. Gray skies overhead, this isn't looking likely, but I try to do the right thing like Spike Lee, and I talk to God, the one and almighty. Lord, please have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. Yeah. Lord, please have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. What it's like in this life for a nigga like me. Every day I gotta fight my demons. Wake up, thank God I'm breathing. Cause all nightmares, America's dreaming. Trying to find a way to make it while surrounded by heathens. No stress long as I got a coat and I'm eating. I'm blessed and I know the Most High's the reason. But my heart's bleeding, through my sleeve is seeping. For all the things that I've been peeping. Type of shit make you say fuck it and sleeping. Cause while you was sleeping, during the evening, my brothers got gunned down over the weekend. Stretched out in the streets, left leaking. Laid out, white sheet, mom's grieving. All lives gotta have more meaning than another nigga dead in the paper I'm reading. Baby mama bitching every time that she's speaking. Talking like she gonna take the kids as she's leaving. How we go from kids to ending up in the deep end. Sink or swim, lose or win, saint or sin. Where does the change begin? And when does the bullshit end? Cause I wake up in the morning, gotta do it again. Go to sleep, go to work and just do it again. Damn. Can't pretend, cause when you stand out, it's hard to blend. And what I stand for, don't fold the bend. Cause I heard real folks still got too many friends. Cause when you speak the truth, then you tend to offend. So while I'm gripping this pen, Lord, please have mercy on me, amen. It's time for my people to come together and rise up. The only way we gonna take our royalty back, man, is if we do just that, man. Take it back. Kwame Yashala, nigga. Time for us to rise out of our oppression. A wise man told me each one teach one. So I need you to reach out to your brothers and sisters and teach them, man. There's no reason we should still be getting hung from trees in this day and age, man. Lord, please have mercy on me.
Perfect. I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from their cloth. There's no one that can match me.
No affiliation, why they faking? This ain't for debating. We the real, they really imitation. I be contemplating why this ain't on like heavy rotation on radio stations. I just pray the Lord give me patience, cause I'm running through these rappers like my name Walter Payton. Shitting on these rappers, 9 to 5 is my occupation. Raw, you come in with your best troops, you best bring more. Already told you I got the juice like Orenthal. Already know what I'm about to do, bet your men fall. Everyone know that we got the truth. all your men false, so lost, overtaking our enemies. Moves calculated and orchestrated like symphonies. Smooth operated when bringing haters to misery. Top 5 list ain't shit unless you mention me. Yeah. That's why we don't associate. Fuck niggas make them more fuck niggas. Why they procreate? Why they overhate? Cause they time is short and the moment late. Let it culminate to they heart erase and it palpitate. Cowards perpetrate like they little group is respectable. Talking intellectual. All of you homosexuals. Faggots.
There's no one like me. I'm from their cloth. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children.
I don't want to congregate. I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to fellowship. I ain't trying to build with you. Ain't the UPK, ain't the truth. Keep it real with you. Defenders of the faith, I got no problem bumping heads with you. All that bullshit, you can take it over there with you. Rather be a houseboy. Rather run with them field niggas. Show them to put in work. Move mountain, crush hills, nigga. Take a dead soul. Breathe life and make it live, nigga. No affiliation, so it's no one to compare with us. Took the Lord's laws and just added it with fear, nigga. Aim for the body, cause you know like killer head quicker. With these bars, I'm on my grizzly, so bear witness. You spit cold, I spit flu. Don't compare sickness. You floss diamond, I floss fringes. Don't compare dentists. UPK, we men the wall shit. We ain't Christian. Harm one of us, get pistol whipped like the gun got a belt with it. I'm bred different. The competition just a mill. I'm fed different. I stood front line on them fields. I bled different. I'd rather be a corpse than a coward. I'm led different. Shit, I'm led different. Come through like a juggernaut, so don't get in the way. And we take everything serious. We don't play. I wonder now what they gon' say. Shit, we make profits out of shooters like the NBA. You get slayed for switching sides, nigga. We ain't on the same page. Immaculate conception. Wow. These niggas bitch made. I'm sticking with the foundation where my bricks laid. You switch sides, I'd rather switch K's. You was never with us, nigga. Just know we on mission, nigga. Right hand hold the scriptures, nigga. Left hip hold the pistol, nigga. How you want it? You can get it spiritual or physics, nigga. Wrong ones to come against, so bring an army with you. No affiliation. When you see us, make the difference with us. No affiliation. When you see us, know we different, nigga. No affiliation. So no, you can't kick it with us. The wrong ones to come against, bring an army with you.
I feel empowered. I feel like the Dimitri Post diagnosis.
Yeah. Go ahead. Come on, West. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Look, I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother way. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Man, this shit is too easy. I'm on gold, but they don't believe me. You know I'm winning with the team. Screaming Vinny, 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 Vigi. Leave them devils screaming out bloody murder. I'm about to close the curtain. Mama grind, bitch, and work. Sorry, all them lies, it ain't working. Them niggas weak, cause they be turgid. I'm a West nigga, that's for certain. If he cross the line, I'ma back up and I'ma hit his ass with this virus. When I come through 300 strong, 144 Leonidas. All my niggas, we eat. I'm in this bitch with the itis. Say, all y'all do the sweet. They all do the sweet. If a nigga made the wrong move, he make his ass obsolete. He ain't one of us hit the lead. He ain't one of us here preach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Go ahead. Look, I keep it low to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet. Got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat.
You see this look that's on my face, bitch? I'm for real with it. I hit the streets.
put on my cleats, was in the field with it. You soft as cotton, just an actor, Uncle Phil with it. And then my target's on the move, but I can still hit it. Hey, I speak true cause it's necessary. Color Jack revolutionary. Cold on him like January. Commander General is a visionary. Soul food, no sweets. Your preacher man, he's sweet. Matter of fact, he weak. It's wartime for peace. Think you hard, nigga, you ain't. Fuck with us, nigga, you can't. You smart cars, we tanks. We form up in ranks. We body bag this rap shit. All black, no bright shit. Real life, no cap, bitch. Fall on them, that's cap shit. I keep it on to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on deck, and my youngest did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell them get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us, he a breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Go ahead.
I told you I was gonna win.
Windows 11 takes gaming to another level. And when it comes to streaming movies, we haven't really experienced any buffering.
Seeing it load up that quick, I was genuinely surprised.
A code red for humanity. Tonight we begin with the wake-up call from the United Nations. A code red for
Who's that creeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night. Who's that creeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night. They keep it real when niggas, man, most of y'all frauds. Leave like you frauds. Y'all pussy niggas gon' ride for your dog. Right at your man and put the dagger right in his heart. I'm playing my part. Definitely I'm playing it smart. And if I don't get you, then I'm coming for your brother then. Or his mother then. It's kinda crazy revenge settling. Rape, sold, and murdered the natives when they was settling in. Coming in, out of the water that they was fishing in. I was raised in hell. It got dark when I was peddling. White man harassing the block when we was peddling. White man who also was the blood when we was peddling. I would never fraud if I was on David Letterman. This is UPK and I'm chopping Shabazz. When the Christ come back, then I'm right on your ass. Got the Johnny Walker in me and I'm all in my bag. I'm on my Friday the 13th with the gun and the mask. Ah, who's that creeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night. Who's that creeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night.
Hey yo, the car and nacho, fucking doing crazy like they destined on the flock though. Righteous on the block though. The beat I catch a ride, but I always miss my stop though. Beefing with my shorty till I stuck it in the taco. Who's that creeping through my window? I ain't with the complications, I'ma keep it simple. Burn all black dicky to the timbo. You gon' find exactly what you looking for in limbo. We gon' get it in though. Experience I live from 2036. I see my brother when it's been done. Every day I think about the trouble that I slid from. That's why I call the white man the devil, cause he is one. That's not a motherfucker, I think we should just forgive. That act right, gave a nigga reason to live. Give you extra if you take it back or you renege. See him creeping, no Newport, I squeeze the cig.
Who's that creeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night. Who's that creeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night.
Where's the competition? I'm bored with it. Stepping up a board mission. I keep 2 fours with him. Don't feel like a 4-hitter. This piece I'm adored with it, but you can get gored with it. You don't want to war with him. This hammer, I'm Thor with it. You pray for my downfall, I just pray that the Lord with him. Taking every shot and I'm keeping the score with him. But this ain't a game, ain't no back and forth with him. So quick, I'm just to kill. You can tell how that forfeit him. This just ain't in him. That beef is takeout. What that means? It's your steak dinner. I grip the stick, hit the switch and make you switch genders. That stretch 5 is too much, I make you switch center. That pressure on, you call for God, you a chain sinner. A warlord, don't show no pain, just put that pain in her. A pillar in the shit, you know it ain't no change in her. It's legit if you see it in my name in it. It's UPK, nigga. Let's get it.
Who's that creeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night. Who's that creeping through my window? 40 on me like I'm Winslow. Hit that nigga with that act right. I was fighting wars day and night.
Mic check. Mic check.
Okay, I think it's working now. I see the mixer moving. Can you hear it? Yeah. It's on. Most High Christ. Most High Christ. All right, let's clap it up. Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, where we've been teaching our people, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, who they are according to the Bible, man. In the room we got, this the Tuesday night Brotherhood class. In the room we got Officer 500, Officer Tapazar, we got Officer 50, Abon Zayan, and then we got myself, Officer 50, Kyle Kazai. Tonight we're gonna be dealing with accountability. That's one of the huge areas that we lack in as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Is we've been taught so many lies from so many different directions that we start to feel hopeless, right? Like we start to feel like, you know what I'm saying, there ain't no truth nowhere. So we start to just believe, we start to accept the lies that we've been told because of the lack of truth. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for example, we in a Christian church and we find out all the lies that they've been telling us. They tell us that, you know what I'm saying, Christ ain't got no color. And or they say that, you know what I'm saying, the Most High love everybody, which is absolutely not true. But what we do is just accept that that's what they believe in the Christian church. And we don't, instead of challenging them, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just let the lies fly. Like, we just go up in there, we clap our hands, stomp our feet, get a good concert, and then we go to the back and get a plate, and then we go home. But the entire time, we're being told lies that we know are lies.
Right.
And it's crucial for us it's crucial now more than ever for us to hold ourselves and our leaders and one another accountable for the things that we teach and the things that we learn, because we're living right now in the information age, right? So this is a time where in the past, you know, information has been where information has been, you know, harder to access. Now information is more accessible to our people. You know what I'm saying? You could just get on your phone and Google, you know what I'm saying, the things that you wanna find out. And with that, also we're living in the misinformation age. So we also tend to, you know what I'm saying, we tend to hop on internet, you know what I'm saying, hop on social media and see some things that somebody might post, or we might read something and then take it for, you know what I'm saying, for face value and try to take it as fact, and then we try to regurgitate that, or we're learning things that we don't quite understand and we try to regurgitate it, and we end up teaching one another things that aren't true. You know what I'm saying? But that's why it's so crucial for us to hold one another and hold ourselves accountable, man. And that's brotherhood. Because if you don't hold yourselves accountable, you end up inheriting lies like we have. You know what I'm saying? Like the Christian church, in the Christian church, we teach, or the Christian church teaches us lies because they inherited lies. Like there was a time where we weren't in control of what was being put out in the churches, or what we were able to teach in the church. Right. There was a time where, you know what I'm saying, our lives were on the line. Like, for example, the children who were sent to boarding schools in various parts of the U.S., they were forced to drop their culture, drop their language, cut their hair, put on their oppressors' uniforms. They were forced to do these things, and if they didn't, they they were killed. You know what I'm saying? That's why there are several mass burial sites on the southeastern part of the U.S. to this day, because our children were forced to lose their culture, forced to inherit lies, or they were killed. You know what I'm saying? And our parents didn't have very much say-so, or any say-so in the situation. You know what I'm saying? To the point where children, little babies, were coming home and killing themselves because they were separated from their parents at birth, taught this language, and forced to get rid of their culture, and then coming home and couldn't even communicate with their parents because they had a whole different language, a whole different culture, man. But now we are in the age of information where now we can start to uncover the lies that we've been taught. Like Revelations say, the earth that will help the woman. The earth is we're starting to find things in the earth that proves who we are, and things are starting to come up and surface that proves the lies that are being told to us in the Christian church, and lies that were forced down our throats during our captivity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But once we find out these lies, we have to be accountable for what the next move is. You know what I'm saying? Baba Kasha, if I could, let me get let me get Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26. This is why it's so crucial for us to hold ourselves accountable and hold one another accountable. Because if we don't, man, there are consequences for us, for our lack of accountability. There are consequences, you know what I'm saying? And there's no way around it. Like, you got that, sir?
Come. The book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 26. For if we sin willfully after we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins.
So if you get the knowledge that, if you get knowledge, if you are given the knowledge of good and evil, and you find out that you have been taught lies, and you find out what the actual truth is, there remaineth what?
No more sacrifice for sins.
There's no more sacrifice for sin. You know what I'm saying? We like our parents and our grandparents, you know what I'm saying, who grew up in the Christian church, they like to say they covered in the blood of Jesus, and you know, that pork chop that they eating is sanctified by the Lord, you know, by Christ's sacrifice and all that. Because when he died, the law was nailed to the cross with him. So now we don't gotta keep the law. Now we don't gotta teach our children to follow their culture. But the scripture just said that if you have the knowledge that you are not supposed to be eating these things, if you're not supposed to be partaking in these other cultures, then there's no more sacrifice for your sin, man. And you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that if you're not holding yourself accountable, man. You're just gonna continue to. You're gonna find out, you know what I'm saying, that Christ is black. But if you, or like whatever, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna find out the truth of the Bible. But if you're still teaching the lies, then there's no more sacrifice for your sins because you know better.
Right.
Once you know better, what we say, if you knew better, you do better. Once you know better, you gotta do better. Like there's no excuse at that point. You know better. If I could, let me get Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1. And this is why we need to not only hold ourselves accountable, but we need to hold one another accountable. Because we are, by not holding ourselves and one another accountable, we are allowing ourselves to continue to be destroyed.
Right.
Like, there's no, like we said before, like, we were forced to be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were forced, in our captivity, we were forced to be eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. We were forced to forget our culture. we were forced to partake in their culture and be docile. Like it was forced on us, but now, you know what I'm saying? We're not in physical bondage. We may be right now, like the biggest shackles that we have are on our mind. The biggest thing holding us back right now at this point is our minds. Like, cause we know better, but we're not holding one another accountable. Baba Kasha, if you could bring that up.
Come. The book of Leviticus, chapter 5, verse 1. And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness, whether he have seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity.
So if you know if you know that lies are being told to you, if you know that something that somebody's doing is wrong and you don't speak up about it knowing better, then you're responsible, man. You're gonna bear that iniquity. That burden is yours also. That sin is, you might as well have committed that sin. You might as well be lying to your people. You might as well be selling drugs to your people and robbing your people. You might as well be doing all that if you're not gonna correct the people that's if you're not gonna correct the people that look like you, who's feeding your people lies, if you're not gonna if you know better and you're gonna continue to teach your people lies, then you're no better than your oppressor. Because that's exactly what they did, because they knew better. They knew who God's children were. They knew that, they knew what your culture was, what you didn't partake in and what you did partake in, what you had, what you kept holy and what you separated from. They knew very well what they was doing when they came over here and started separating children from mothers and fathers and killing our people and stealing our land and forbidding us to learn how to read. They knew exactly what they was doing. So for you to know exactly for you to know the game and not speak up, or to continue, for you to know the game and to continue to perpetuate the lies that have been pushed in your nation, you just as bad as your oppressor, man.
Right.
This is why holding ourselves accountable is so important, man. Like we can no longer be cowards. That's what we're doing right now. We're being cowards. For us to know better and not do better, for us to know better and not teach our people to do better, we're cowards, man. We ain't got no brotherhood, man. There was a time where we would rather choke and die in the ocean than to smell pork, than to put pork on our plate, man. We would rather choke and die in the ocean than to disobey our power. We thought that death was better than sinning against the Most High. There was a time where we were that courageous and that zealous for our nation and for our power. But now there's nobody forcing us to do anything. There's nobody forcing us to eat no pork or no catfish. Right. There's nobody forcing us to sleep with no white women or put that blunt to our mouth. Right. But we have completely lost our zeal, man. We have become house pets, man. We have become domesticated because of the condition that we have been brought up in generations ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we gotta find our courage again, man. We gotta find our courage again to be able to love one another and show one another brotherhood, man. Because right now we are in a state where we don't love one another. We're in a condition where we don't love one another. We don't want to love one another, and we would rather love anybody else but somebody that looks like you, man. We right now we calling us, like, we leave the Christian church because of the lies that they teach in there, which, I don't blame you. But then we run to a different culture. We run to we run to Africans and their culture, calling our in their what do they call it? The Kemet. Like we run over there thinking we Egyptians and all that. Egyptologists and all that. We run into their culture and all that, and it's interesting. It's interesting that we'll find out that they're lying to us and teaching us wrong in the Christian church, and we'll leave immediately. But then we'll go to Kemet and then find out that they're the ones who sold us into captivity, and then we are not those people. But we'll stay up in there. You know why? Because it's never been about the information, man. We really left the Christian church because it stopped making us feel good. Like, because we don't challenge the Christian church. We don't ask questions in the Christian church. We stay silent, and then we, you know what I'm saying, our grannies and our grandpas, they clapping and co-signing to the pastor. You know what I'm saying? Then they get up and start dancing and all that, and then you go home. But once the church stops making you feel good, then you leave and go into something else that will make you feel good.
Right.
The problem with Kemet is that it makes us feel good. You know why? Because you can hurt your brothers with something that they don't understand. Because they don't understand that culture, because it's not their culture. It wasn't for them to understand. So for you to delve deeply into this culture and then put on this dashiki, you know what I'm saying? Try to talk about, you talking about going to the motherland and bring, you speaking this strange language to your people, talking about Geb and Nut and all these strange gods that your people were never familiar with. You're creating a language barrier with your people. And then because of that language barrier, you get to be like, you get to flex what you so-called know. Like, you get this information, it's like, yeah, you don't know nothing about no Geb, you don't know nothing about Newt and you don't know nothing about the scarab beetle and all these things. Like you get the flex, you know what I'm saying? But then you find out that you're not African, and those people sold you into captivity. Just, it's something that you could just Google.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's easily Googleable. You stumble upon that information, and then now you have a hard time leaving what made you feel so good. Now you got to find something else. It's like, you had your hand up?
Oh, no.
Okay, no sweat. You got to find something else to make you feel good, man. And that's the truth about it, man. The Christian church stop making us feel good, so we're trying to find something else to make us feel good, man. Oh, no. Go ahead.
If I could, like, the Christian church made us weak. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
we don't have to fight. Like, we just sit there and lay around like dogs, like you said. You know what I'm saying? Like, you look back on how we first came to America and how we had these brothers and sisters that went against the slavers, the white man. You know what I'm saying? They even took their own lives not to be oppressed on these people.
Right.
Like, I'm not saying like we take our own life, but like, they had the strength. They didn't know the knowledge of it. You know what I'm saying? But now, on the Command we are gaining back the strength of Black Hispanic Americans because we know the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Shalaka.
Oh, most high praise. Damn right, man. Baba Kashai, can I get that first article that I sent you? Should be the Business Insider one. And then there should be a portion that says, well, you go ahead and read the title, and then I'll let you know.
All right. This is Business Insider. Sealed FBI audio tapes allege Martin Luther King Jr. had affairs with 40 women and watched while a friend raped a woman, a report claims.
So we know that Martin Luther King he embodies the Christian church. He looks a certain way, you know what I'm saying? He puts on this 3-piece suit and appears good on the out. He appears to do good on the outside, but on the inside, he is very deceiving and with a very wicked and deceptive agenda. he is the embodiment of the Christian church, because that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? They put on their suits and they look a certain way, they talk a certain way. They seem like very educated and prestigious people, right? But what do? Like, there's so many, I can't even count how many scandals there are in the Christian church. Don't even got to talk about the Catholic Church. But the Christian church, where blacks, you know what I'm saying, black Hispanics and Native Americans, you know what I'm saying, for the most part grow up. It's like you. Where we grow up, and you know what I'm saying, like, there are so many scandals within the Christian church, man. And that is exactly what was depicted through Martin Luther King and him and like the things that he had going on, man. Like, cause he seemed like he was all about his people and the freedom of his people, but behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying, he was a very wicked and selfish man. And it's interesting because originally the FBI was, you know, they was trying to get, you know what I'm saying, information on him, you know, tap in the room that he was in and around, you know, the room surrounding, just trying to find something that maybe, you know what I'm saying, not as harmful as, you know what I'm saying, what they actually found, but just something that they could use against him, like, to expose the type of man that he was. Like, he, you know what I'm saying, like, he has affairs, you know what I'm saying, and all that. But they found something far more diabolical than they could imagine. There should be a part where it says, it starts with Salakia. Oh, one other, it's toward the bottom. One other FBI memo. I'm gonna have to scroll a bit to find it. It's toward the bottom though. The paragraph starts with.
I got it.
Oh, okay. Most High Christ.
One other FBI memo is said to describe a prostitute recounting a sexual encounter she said that she had with King and another woman in the Sands Hotel in Las Vegas in April 1964.
So, what a lot of people will say is that the FBI, you know what I'm saying, they're corrupt because they're a government facility, and they're, you know what I'm saying, the government is corrupt and all of that. Like, they'll discredit, you know what I'm saying, the FBI and their findings, right? And, you know what I'm saying, that's fair. But this is an account from a person, you know what I'm saying, particularly a prostitute who really doesn't really have much motive to try and come against this man. It's just her account of what she was doing on time. And we're gonna get to the FBI thing, the FBI memos too. But I just wanted to bring this out. Go ahead, Baba Shah.
According to the Times, the memo says King called a friend to get your damn ass down here because I have a beautiful white broad here.
Ooh wee. So that I have a dream. He had a dream that one day little black boys and little white girls can hold hands. Ooh wee. It seemed like it was a little deeper and a little deeper agenda on his mind. That's what it seems like. You know what I'm saying? Based on what we reading. Like he was sexually involved with this prostitute, and I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish it off.
The FBI memo is said to have recorded the prostitute as saying that King and the two women had sex. And when King's friend showed up, King watched the action from a close by position as they too had sex.
Good night. So he was into some freaky deaky stuff. Like he was on one. He was good night. He had a lot going on right then. And this is somebody that the Christian church looked up to. This is the person that is spoon fed to our children and pushed year by year, grade by grade, through in our school systems, that you know what I'm saying, in our school system, that he was a hero. You know what I'm saying? He's pushed as a hero and taught to our children and our teenagers that, you know what I'm saying, he's a hero and somebody to be looked up to. But it's interesting that the FBI found out these things, but that wasn't put, you know what I'm saying, that was never made public.
Right.
Like that's kind of interesting. Like if they were really trying to, like if the FBI was really just trying to take him down and trying to slander his name, and you know what I'm saying, he's such a great person, and we want to try to you know what I'm saying, try to diminish his reputation, then why wouldn't those things be put out there? That shows you that Martin Luther King was used as a tool,
right,
to destroy blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man.
That's right.
He was used as a tool to destroy us, man, to destroy our minds and to keep us docile. And the interesting thing about Martin Luther King is that he held himself accountable. It was a little too late, you know what I'm saying, but he even held himself accountable. He, on his deathbed, he said that, you know, or like you know what I'm saying, toward the end of his life, he said that he feels as if he led his people into a burning house. Right. And now that we've read this little excerpt of this article, now we kind of understand why that is. Because all the while he was, you know what I'm saying, all the while he was trying to teach you, he was walking up the streets getting hosed by dogs. He had his loved ones, his brothers, his sisters, his co-workers, colleagues, his friends out there getting hosed by dogs and you know what I'm saying, or not hosed by dogs, getting hosed by fire hoses, eaten by dogs, beat with batons and all of that, getting hot coffee poured in their lap for the love of their oppressor. Let me get Mark chapter 12 verse 31, Baba Kasha. He had his people marching up and down the streets, losing sleep, enduring beatings for the love of an oppressor. That is good night. That is no brotherhood for something as fleeting as sex with a white woman, with a prostitute. That's what all those beatings and all that marching and the big old speeches, getting shot by rubber bullets and getting rock stone and bricks, you know what I'm saying, getting your head bust open. It's brothers out there who really looked up to him, man. Sisters who really looked up to him and really endured, you know what I'm saying, spent time in jail, got, you know what I'm saying, got separated from their families, lost their friends. Right. There's people who really made real life sacrifices for this man, really thinking that he had the best intentions for them. Right. And he was doing all of that just to be able to sleep with our oppressor.
Right.
Good night. You got that, sir?
Mark 12:31.
Come.
The book of Mark, chapter 12, verse 31. And the second is like, namely this: thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Thou shalt do what?
Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Good night. If Martin Luther King loved his neighbor like he loved himself, he would never put his people through that for something as fleeting as sex with an oppressor. You know what I'm saying? If he loved his neighbor like he loved himself, he wouldn't have asked something so great of his people, such a great sacrifice from his people for something so fleeting, for something so destructive in the end. Like, he thought it was just about, in his small mind, it was just something so small as, I just want to see what this white woman is like. You know what I'm saying? I just want to, you know what I'm saying? I just want to deal with this other nation that hates us right now. I want to bridge the gap so I can make marriages with them. And, you know what I'm saying, have children with them. You have something you want to bring up?
I was gonna say he gonna taste the forbidden fruit.
Oh, good night. Good night. He wanna see what that he wanna taste that forbidden fruit. But in the end, it was so much more destructive than that, than the destruction that he caused in his family. Like, cause his wife knew, his wife eventually found out about the infidelity and him laying with these strange women. Like, she found out about that, and I'm sure it had an emotional toll on her, and I'm sure it had a catastrophic toll on his family structure and the way his children and his wife looked up at him. But it was deeper than that, man. He didn't realize until the very end that he was leading his people astray, man. Leading his people into a burning house, man. Now, Baba Kashal, let me get John chapter 15, verse 13. But he didn't realize the gravity of what he was doing, man. But at the end of it, he held himself accountable. Now, my question is, he held himself accountable. He denounced his works and said publicly that it was all for naught. It was all for, you know what I'm saying? He didn't disclose it in detail like the FBI did or like this prostitute he was involved with did, but he denounced his works and the things that he worked for and the things that he did. So my question is, why are we still looking at him or the Christian church as a light? You know what I'm saying? Why do we still want to? Why are we still integrated, man? Why are we still pushing to be loved by our oppressor? Why are we still trying to make marriages with our oppressor's women and their children? You know, why are we still trying to do these things after he held himself accountable? Like, you got that, sir?
Khan. The book of John, chapter 15, verse 13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends.
There is no greater love than the man who would lay down his life for his friends. So it would have been a very honorable thing for him to, you know what I'm saying, march and good night. I don't want to say all that. But it's an honorable thing for a man to sacrifice his life for the sake of his people, for the sake of his loved ones, his family, his friends. It's a very honorable thing to do that. And those who want to join in that movement and lay down their lives also, like us in the ISU, in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we have laid down our lives, man. We have cut off. We have turned away from the things that we used to do in the world so that we could serve the Most High, man.
That's right.
We have had to leave our families, man. We have had to separate from friends, from longtime friends, and separate just to serve our power, man. We have had to take losses, man. Some of us ended up homeless, man, for this truth, man. To teach our people to teach our people to love one another, man. We are laying down our lives for our friends, for our people, for our family, man. Martin Luther King, who we hold to such high esteem, he laid down his life for sex with white women. Good night. It's just not the same sacrifice, man. And what he did was very dishonorable, man. What he did was very dishonorable and does not deserve the praise that we give him, man. We have to once we find out that, so it's okay. There's nothing. It's nothing wrong with not knowing. If you don't know that somebody is fooling you or getting the best of you, you can't be held accountable for the like what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause like if you have the interest of your people, the best interest of your people, or you just, you know what I'm saying, you're just trying to do the best you can as a person, as a black man in your oppression, man, and you just trying to find a way. You know what I'm saying? We all did things in our ignorance, man. And the Lord is winking at that. He is, you know what I'm saying? That's what the grace is for. But once we know that something is a lie, especially once the person who tells the lie admits that it was a lie, then we have to be accountable. Then the ball is in our corner, in our court. We like, okay, now what now? It's up to you to either keep on perpetuating those lies and keep on passing those lies down to your children so that they inherit lies, or for it to end with you. You have a choice to make then, black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man. You have a choice. And what makes us so wicked, what makes us have no brotherhood to one another is the fact that we have that choice and we're still choosing to believe in these lies, man.
Right.
We're not holding ourselves accountable, and we're not holding anybody else around us accountable, man. For the sake of what, man? Like, a lot of us, like, Thanksgiving just passed, right? And we know what happened to the Native Americans, man. Like, I know when I was growing up in school, they at least, you know what I'm saying, they hadn't quite taken that out of the textbooks quite yet.
Right.
So I was learning about Christopher Columbus and him coming over and taking the land and all the conquistadors and what they did to the Native Americans and slavery and all of that, all the way up until, you know what I'm saying, to current events, to where we got today. You know, those are, but like, you know what I'm saying? I know nowadays they're taking that out of the books, but like, I'm sure anybody my age or above also has the same information, or it's the same knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know that Thanksgiving is about the rape, rob, and murder of millions of Native Americans. Did you have a question, sis? Okay, no sweat. We know what happened to the Native Americans, man. It's like, you want to bring something up, sir?
Yeah, Baba Bashar, if I could. Knowledge is one thing, man. You know what I'm saying? What you're saying is heavy, but, you know, we don't really know, like, we don't know what we know what we do. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like knowing that, like what I mean by that is that you're right. People know that pilgrims came here and they killed Indians, but, you know, what they know is that on that whatever day that Thanksgiving fall on is that it's some good food cooking in the kitchen. And mama's making, you know what I'm saying, pies and greens and turkey and all I've been getting all week is ramen noodles and hot dogs with rice or macaroni and cheese with chopped up hot dogs, and now the money's getting spent to get a real meal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's like if this is, I know this come around once a year, and then right behind this is gonna be Christmas, right? Then here come the good food, then here come the gifts, and my whole life during the year is hell. It's something I'm looking forward to.
Right.
Maybe I'm gonna see my cousins who I ain't seen in, you know what I mean, in like 6-7 months. I can go either throw the football around or spark up a blunt with them in the back of the alley or whatever. Right. You know what I mean? Hit the bar with them or something. Or I'm gonna see my auntie who always treated me nice and asked how I was doing and took me to go to the store and give me some candy. You know what I mean? Like that's what we know, is what we do. You understand? But the knowledge of Native Americans who, you know, half of us ain't never been to a reservation. We say we Indian because of our hair, but outside of that, we don't know Native Indian culture. Right. We're disconnected from it. We don't care, man. That's why it's so easy for us to go pick up a gun and kill our brother, because if it happens to us around the corner, around the block, then we can feel it. But the white man put it inside of us to be like, that was a long time ago. You know, get over it. Right. You know what I'm saying? But really, he ain't got to say that. We got over it. Right. You understand? We clearly got over it, because we'll go be maids in their houses, right? We'll go do their landscaping, right? You know what I'm saying? We'll change their bed sheets. You understand? We'll work in their daycares, right? We'll work in their hospitals. We'll subject ourselves to their drug testing to get a job. We forgot. You understand? Outside of them getting on our nerves on the job, like I wish Mary would leave me the fucking work so I could leave me the hell alone. You understand? Right. You know what I'm saying? I wish, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I wish Becky would leave me alone. You know? But we didn't got over. But what you're saying is heavy, man. Is that and that's the thing. That's why what you're doing tonight is so important. Why the ISUK is important is because you're trying to connect the knowledge to what we should be doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're trying to bridge that gap. But it's hard, man, because what you said was heavy about the information age, but it's so much information. And right now, what people care about, man, is their come up, man.
Right.
They care about their come up, just like how you said Martin Luther King cared about his come up, man.
Right.
He used our oppression and what we were going through as a people to come up and be able to do those kind of things at the hotels where nobody would question his morality because he's Martin Luther King. I had watched the interview, man, with, I don't remember her name, but she played on Star Trek, like the old Star Trek. There's a black actress. And she said she was ready to quit Star Trek. And she said she just wanted to film it. She wanted to do Broadway plays. But she said that she was at some type of party, and the creator of Star Trek was asking her, like, not to leave. And she said she was going to just quit and go do her own thing. She wanted to do, like, black Broadway shows and stuff. And she said Martin Luther King walked up to her and said her name. And she was like, oh my God, this is our leader. And he was like, I sure love you in that show. Me and my wife watch it every week. And she said because of that, she stayed on that show where she ended up kissing William Shatner, a white man, and being that black bed wench on Star Trek.
Good night.
You understand? Off of his words. But because of his image, he was able to have that kind of pull with our people. So where, like how you said, which was powerful, man, that people went to colleges for political science to become lawyers, to do civil rights work, just off of what he did and him dying. Like in Atlanta, Georgia, there's a whole bunch of, like, you got Andrew Jackson, and not Andrew Jackson, Andrew Johnson, and like the former mayor of Atlanta. These are I can't think of the other brother's name. He just died. I think John Lewis. These were men that were up under him, that followed him, man. They built their whole lives off of his movement, man. And so what you're saying is heavy, man. Like, you know, the knowledge, the proper knowledge is important, but what you do is important, man. You understand? And us making that connection of what we do and the truth, and living out that truth in truth is important, man, because he led our people astray, man.
Yeah,
right. You know what I'm saying? You got Salaki, you got people.
Oh no,
astray.
sir, get out of hand. The water for bringing that out, man, because sir, because that was absolutely heavy, and that's absolutely correct, man. Like, we tend, like, what something you said was so heavy. Like, we use our we worried about our come up. You know what I'm saying? So we use that's why we celebrate Thanksgiving, because, you know what I'm saying, we know the root, but we trying to, you know what I'm saying, we trying to get a meal. Yeah, we trying to eat because we've been hungry for so long.
Right.
But we don't, like, just like Martin Luther King, him worried about his come up, like, we don't realize the impact that we have while, you know what I'm saying, while trying to serve ourselves, while trying to, you know, serve our wicked lust, man.
Right.
We trying to serve our bellies and serve our lust and serve our pockets, and just like the drug dealer in the hood, you know what I'm saying? Like, he spent his teenage years up, sometimes before, you know what I'm saying? We got kids selling drugs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Toting pistols and all that, killing their brothers, catching bodies, you know what I'm saying? As babies, and then they grow up, you know what I'm saying, efficient at it. You know, they become efficient drug dealers if they don't go to jail. Efficient, you know what I'm saying, murderers if they don't get, you know, if they don't get boxed up or if they don't go to jail. Like, they become efficient at it, and then once they become the OG, what they do, they either teaching other people, other children to become, you know what I'm saying, efficient murderers, efficient drug dealers.
Right.
Or they like, don't do what I did, cause, you know what I'm saying, they landed me in jail. You know what I'm saying, I done seen so many of my loved ones get killed. You know what I'm saying, my house getting shot up and my babies sleeping in the, you know what I'm saying, my wife and my kids sleeping and the house getting shot up. I always gotta watch my back for cops or like somebody who don't, you know what I'm saying, somebody I can't trust. I gotta separate from my family. They trying to steer you away from it, man. But at that point, it's so late because, you know what I'm saying, you got children who see what you got from what you had to do or what you did in your lifetime, and they really not trying to hear what your words is. Like the mighty priest just said, like, it's not about the information, it's what you do with it. Because even if you use your mouth and say we should do this, or I have a dream this, or You know what I'm saying? Don't do this. If your actions are otherwise, and it's gaining you something in this hell as a Black, Hispanic, or Native American, man, you might as well have said nothing.
Right.
You might as well have said nothing, man. That's why it's so important for us to hold ourselves accountable, man. We have to, once we find out the truth, we have to separate from the lie. Right. We can't have both. We can't find out the truth and indulge in the lie just a little bit.
Right.
That's why Thanksgiving is so wicked, man. That's why us partaking in, you know what I'm saying, voting and trying to march in the streets with our oppressor, that's why that's so wicked, man. Because you see your oppressor killing you. You see your oppressor making laws to try to confuse you and to put you in jail. And then the same thing that put you in jail, they legalizing. They making legal. Or they getting off on the same thing that put you in jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so wicked for us to continue to indulge in those kind of practices and in our wicked oppressors society when we see what it's doing to us, man, and we see the lies, man. Let me Baba Kashad, can you get that third article? I'm gonna skip the second article for now. I don't think we touched on all of that. It should be the Jefferson era. Well, it's so heavy, like, cause like even it's even the smaller things that we don't hold, like, that we take for granted. Like something as small as voting. Like Christians, you know what I'm saying? Like Christians, when it comes time for, you know what I'm saying, for us to vote in the United States, the Christian church is a big vessel for trying to push that agenda to try to get the black vote or try to get as many votes into the try to get us into the ballot booths and all that, trying to get us to vote. Because we trying to better our situation. Like Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man, we tired of being poor, man. We tired of seeing our people poor. So we try to do things to better our situation. And a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, while we're young, or while we're young-minded and docile and ignorant, we try to go and vote for our better life. Regardless of how many times, you know what I'm saying, as many times we voted in the past, it hasn't profited us anything. But we try to better our situation through voting and trying to be a part of the government.
Right.
Like we try to get jobs in the government and all that, in the government systems and all of that, to try to change our situation. But like even something that seems so small and innocent like that, and pure, something that seems pure-hearted, it is something that can have a grave impact on our people, man. It
Right.
could keep us docile, man. Like we in the Constitution, it reads that, you know what I'm saying, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, right? But at the same time, it's the same Constitution that says that Native Americans are savage beasts.
Right.
It's the same Constitution that calls so-called black people 3/5 of a man. That our vote was counted as 3/5, or our 3/5 of our votes was counted, man.
Right.
Like they considered us 3/5 of a person. It was the same Constitution that said we all were equal, man. So for us to be playing a part in this government, man, it's a destructive thing, man. And it's interesting. It's like you want to. It's interesting that we find out it's interesting that even our oppressor knows that hell is on the way for him, and that he is going to receive a punishment for the way he's treated Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But we don't hold our oppressor accountable. He fears our power more than we do, because he knows what kind of power that we served before he came over and stole our land, man. But we don't, and we've turned our back so much that we don't even want to know. It's like
Yeah, so like off the shop, I could. So like, you know, what you're saying is heavy, man. Like, you notice that when the ISUPK has like food drives, clothes drives, you never see the city behind it. Like whatever city that we're in doing it, you see the people who are receiving the goods and the services, they're responding to it like, you know, like thank you and all that, but you never see the people come behind the Isupk, right? And I'm gonna tell you, man, because the accountability that you're talking about, the accountability is brotherhood. You know what I'm trying to say? Like you're speaking on the knowledge, but that knowledge should lead us, because I mean, knowledge that doesn't lead to action, what's its value? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like people say all the time, knowledge is power, but the power is in the activity. It's in the results. It's in what comes out of it. You know what I mean? It's the outcome. And just knowing something, like you said, I think you said that earlier. You were talking about people get knowledge for conversation's sake, right? Because they want to impress the people in the room and like what I know. But if it's not leading to any type of action, leading to a change, then what's the point? So what's heavy about what you're bringing out is this, man. People have the knowledge about slavery. They have the knowledge about that knowledge was kept from us. But like right now, right, we know that America was stolen by our oppressor. It was stolen from the Native Indian, and then we were brought here to build up their kingdom. I just posted an article on my Facebook where the very Capitol building that the Proud Boys and the rest of those white extremists tried to burn down, it's a photo with all of us. We built it. Negroes and Native Indians, Hispanics, we built the U.S. Capitol. We built it. Right. You understand what I'm trying to say? And they tried to destroy it, but in that Capitol building, we elect the very oppressors who destroy our neighborhoods, who don't bring any type of renovation. In fact, they gentrify our neighborhoods. They put us in these poor neighborhoods, and then when a real estate opportunity comes, they tear them down and build condos and push us out into another poor area, right? This legislation gets written in the very building that we built. The people that we elect, like how you brought with the voting, we put them in that building that we built. Right. Like we build the houses, just like they say in the curses. We build up their houses for them to live in to oppress us. Right. You dig what I'm saying? So it's heavy what you're saying, man, because the knowledge that it should lead us to is brotherhood. But what we're doing with this knowledge is going for self. Right. We're being accountable. Like I'm accountable for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, where's your brother? Am I my brother's keeper? Listen, man, hey, if you don't see the changes coming, you're gonna get left behind. That's the mentality with this metaverse, NFTs, with these stocks and crypto. People are like, well, hey, if you don't get on this train, you're gonna get left. It's not like we're gonna stay behind and make sure everybody goes. That's not the mindset. Right. And that's and what's I'm about to read. I just want to read the scripture, man. That's why what you're bringing out is so deep, because this is John chapter 3, verse 19, right? Because this knowledge is light, bro, right? But this light was Christ. Because, like I say, a light is a person who knows, but they're showing what they know through what they do, man. It's an example. Like Martin Luther King was a light, but he was a light that led us to a dark end. You know what I'm saying? Because you can follow a light down a dark path, but that path can lead to a dark end. Just because it's a light leading you don't mean that you're going in the right direction. But Christ was a light that led us to that was leading us to what? To us. Right. You know what I'm saying? I've only come for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Like he's showing a light. He's saying, look, it's all around y'all. Y'all all the light too. Right. So check this out, man. The book of John chapter 3, verse 19. And this is the condemnation. This is what you're talking about. Now that we have all this information, what are we doing with it? And this is the condemnation, that light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. You dig what I'm saying? That's why when you said about the whole thing, Martin Luther King and him getting found out with the prostitutes, why the FBI didn't put it out there. He's like, that's interesting how they didn't put it out there. Because why? His deeds were evil. But they wanted people to follow him because where he was leading them was is exactly where they wanted him to be at, man. That's what I'm saying. It's heavy. So now, when Christ comes now, man, that's going to be our condemnation. Christ didn't come to destroy the world. He came to save it. But the condemnation is that, look, I showed y'all how to do this. You know what I'm saying? The ISPK is here showing brotherhood. We're showing how to do this. We're being a light. But y'all love darkness, man. Because y'all deeds are evil. Y'all want to go for self. Because to deeds being evil means you hate brotherhood. What you're doing for you and not for anybody else. You don't care what happens to nobody else, man. You dig what I'm saying? That's why your deeds are evil. The ISUPK, Commander General Your Honor, we're showing you the light. We're showing you that how to gather ourselves together, how to rely on ourselves, how to leave nobody behind, man. You know what I'm saying? Christ said he'll leave the 99 sheep to go get the one.
Right.
Dang, nigga will leave the one to go get the 99 white people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You feel me? We do the exact opposite, man. So Salaki.
Oh no, that was heavy, man. And Salaki, bro, you had your hand up?
No.
Oh, okay, no sweat. No, that's heavy though, cause like we're doing like Christ did what everybody thought couldn't be done.
Right.
We're doing what everybody thinks can't be done, like showing
Right.
brotherhood to one
That's
another.
what he said,
Following these laws, statutes, and commandments, we feel like it can't be done in our hell, man. But we are doing it and still surviving, and not only surviving but thriving in our hell, man.
right.
Because we have one another, man, and we love one another over our oppressor, man.
That's right.
But it's real heavy what you just said. Like, our people love darkness, man, because now that they see that it can be done, it's like now. Like, the cover is being removed. Like, the covering is taken off of you. Like, now you like, well, I don't have an excuse. Like, my excuse at first.
Slavery.
Yeah, like my my excuse at first was like, it couldn't be done. It's too hard. We too separated. We too divided. But now you see brothers unified and loving one another. And Matthew 18:15 and sharing everything they have and coming together and putting their resources together, man. And teaching one another, teaching the children. And now you have to either try to find some sort of blemish in the brotherhood, or you have to admit that you don't want to love your people. You just don't. You have to admit that your deeds are evil, man.
Right.
Okay, come, the water.
This is an article from JeffersonHour.com. A quote from Thomas Jefferson. Indeed, I tremble for my country.
Indeed, I what?
Indeed, I tremble for my country.
So Thomas Jefferson, man, one of the founding fathers of this country, man. The same person who had slaves and was whipping our backs, killing black, Hispanics, and Native Americans for his come up and for his children's come up. Right. He is terrified right now. He is terrified. Go up, read on, Baba Kasha.
Indeed, I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just.
God is what?
That God is just.
He knows the power that we serve, man. We don't understand it. We think that, you know what I'm saying, slavery was a long time ago, so we love our oppressor, man. We feel like we got to make amends with our oppressor. You know what I'm saying? And by making amends with our oppressor, we doing all types of manner of wickedness that they require of us. But your oppressor is terrified of your power, black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man. He's terrified, man. Why is he terrified? What is he? Go ahead, read on, Baba Kasha.
That his justice cannot sleep forever.
That his what?
That his justice cannot sleep forever.
The Most High is a just power, man.
Right,
and your oppressor knows that, man.
That's right.
Read on.
That considering numbers, nature, and natural means only, a revolution of the wheel of fortune in exchange of situation is among possible events.
Among possible? That's more than possible. Good night. Go ahead, read on.
That it may become probable by supernatural interference.
By what kind of interference?
By supernatural interference.
So, good night. Now, let me get Revelation chapter 13, verse 9 real quick. We're going to find out what that supernatural interference is going to be, man. Because even your oppressor knows that your power ain't nothing to be messed with, man. And he's holding himself accountable to an extent. For him to even say this right now is the earth. It's part of the earth helping the woman. Like, these are things that are coming and surfacing that were once hidden from us. Like, I wasn't taught this in school. You know know what I'm saying? But now things like this are surfacing to where this is coming straight out the horse's mouth. Like an oppressor, the oppressor, the beginning of this, an oppressor at the beginning of this country, man. Since the beginning of oppression in this country, he is saying these things, man. You know what I'm saying? And like he is in a way denouncing the behavior of his people. But again, this is not something that's going to surface. This is not going to be something that's going to be at the forefront of our education as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. If we keep on going to our oppressor for our knowledge, if we keep on trying to love our oppressor over our own people, we'll never find these things out, because your oppressor is going to bury this. Because they trying to, just like Thomas Jefferson was for himself and trying to come up, like his children are trying to come up, so they're not going to denounce their behavior. They're trying to come up, and then once they get old, their children are going to try to come up, and their children's children. It's always going to be about their come up. And while you're trying to love and defend your oppressor, they're always going to be using you as a stepladder for their come up. That's why brotherhood is so important, man. We have to love one another so we can find these things out. But you got that, sir?
Khan. The book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear.
Right.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Read that again, Baba Kasha.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
So Thomas Jefferson led us into captivity. He knows that he is going to eventually go into captivity. He and his people are going to eventually go into captivity. And like you said, by supernatural interference.
Right.
This is the book of Revelations, man. These are visions given to John the Revelator.
That's right.
Telling how this is all going to end, man. So this is not going to be forever, man. You're not going to be at the bottom forever. You're not going to have to, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to have to kill, and you don't have to kill your brother. You don't have to rob your brother. You don't have to sell drugs, steal people, man. You don't have to do that. You don't have to constantly kill yourself with drugs because you're depressed, man.
Right.
You don't have to do that because it's not going to be like this forever. But you have to, there's a price that comes with it, man. You have to serve your power for him to deal with you, for him to want to bring vengeance on your oppressor. He's not going to take vengeance on your oppressor if you all hugged up with him. Like, go ahead, read on, Baba Kasha.
He that killeth with the sword.
So the conquistadors, go ahead,
must be killed with the sword.
So those that killed those that killed the Native Americans with their swords and their muskets, and who killed their food supply, who killed their women and killed the babies and enslaved the men, who those who come into your neighborhood with the blue and red lights,
right,
pulling you over, killing you in front of your children, man, beating you to a bloody pulp, throwing you in jail for the rest of your life as a minor, while their minors come through and kill you and then get off. They kill by the sword. They live by the sword and they kill with the sword. They're going to die by the sword, man. They're gonna go into this. They're gonna face the same thing. That they're gonna face the same oppression and the same death and the same hell that you faced, except for double.
Right.
They're gonna face that double, man, for what they did to the Lord's people, man.
Right.
Is there any more on that?
Here is the patience and faith of the saints.
Man, that's it right there, man. Like, even your oppressor knew this. Like, so how about this? We love to follow our oppressor and everything else, man. They love white women, so we love white women. They love eating pork and all these abominations, shrimp, crab, and lobster, and all of that, so we love it. They love drugs, so we love doing drugs, man. They love voting, And you know what I'm saying? They love they're patriotic and they love their country, so we love this oppressive country, man. How about we take their their fear of the how about we take their knowledge of the fact that the events are going to turn, that you are not going to be forever oppressed in this country, man, that you are going to have your oppressor in captivity. How about we take that knowledge and run with it too? Like we run with everything else that our oppressor feeds us, man. How about we take that too? Something that will actually benefit our people, man. How about we do that for a change, man? Because as long as we continue to love, as long as we continue to love our oppressor over ourselves, man, we'll never see that day, man.
Right.
And that's what the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is here to do. We're here to give you that knowledge. We're here to give you that practical knowledge, man, so that you can stop loving your oppressor and give all that love that you pour into these other nations and pour it to the people who need it the most. Which is blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Bob Kashai, let me get Matthew chapter 15, verse 24. So we love these other nations, right? But we ain't got no brotherhood. We ain't got no love or brotherhood for our people. For people that look like us, for people who went through the same conditions that we lived through, the people who experienced the same death and are starving and dying in the streets just like we are. You know what I'm saying? We love our oppressor, but we ain't got no love for our people, man. But maybe, you know what I'm saying, we're going to try to give you a little bit of clarity, man. So the first thing we need to understand is Christ did not die for everybody.
That's right.
So we have to first understand that Christ did not die for everybody. He loves blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He was a black man himself, right. And he only loves black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Other black men like himself, man. He was a savior of the savior of the Jews who were black men, man.
Right.
Now we have to understand that he only died for us, man. You got that, sir?
Khan. The book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 24. But he answered and said,
it's like you mind going up one more?
No sweat, sir. Verse 23. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, send her away, for she cries after us.
So this is Christ dealing with this Grecian woman. She was a Greek woman. Is a white woman, right? Who is asking for Christ to heal her daughter who is vexed with a demon, right? With a demon, right? And at first he not trying to deal with her. He answered her not a word. You know what I'm saying? And his disciples are like, man, come on, get her up out of here, man. Good night. Like, man, look. She killing me right now. Like, we trying to do the Lord, you know what I'm saying? We trying to do the Lord's work. We trying to feed our people. We trying to teach our people, man. And she over here acting crazy, man. We know we're going to deal with them. Go ahead, read on.
Con, verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
He is telling her that he is not sent to any other people but the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Now, who are the lost sheep of the house of Israel, man? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Like, did you have your hand, or you was just?
No, I got something to say. You keep on things.
Okay, no sweat. And he is saying that he is only sent to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. So that's what we have to understand, man. That's another lie that your Christian church has taught you, that we have to break away from. Now that we have the knowledge that Christ only died for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, he wasn't sent to any other people, man. We have to hold ourselves accountable. He wasn't sent to any other nation, so we can't keep giving our love to any other nation, man.
Right.
You want to go ahead?
Oh, if I could, like, that's like what Jim Muhammad said. He was like, he said, we trying to say white people, the so-called white man, but they don't want to be saved. You know what I'm saying? You trying to save these people to do all kind of wickedness, you know what I'm saying, to the Lord chose the people, but then again, you ain't worried about your own self being saved.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't coming back. You worry about Billy, but you ain't worried about Tyrone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing with with our people in this Christian church, man. The Christian church teaches you to love your enemies, right? But they don't teach you the breakdown of who is your enemies, right? So they teach you to love the president and whipping your people from beginning time, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they teach you to love somebody that will never love you, so you can join. Like it's like, man, go ahead, man.
Oh, no sweat. What you're saying is absolutely correct. Let's get out of here. Like we are being, as long as we prefer our oppressor over ourselves. Our oppressor is gonna be our teachers, man. Right. Our oppressor is gonna be our police force, our military. Our oppressor is gonna govern and rule over us, as long as we prefer them over us. But once we start preferring and loving one another over our oppressor, then our people will be the ones teaching us. Our people will be the ones, you know what I'm saying, patrolling our neighborhoods, trying to make sure we safe, man. Our people will be the ones teaching our children, man, and teaching our brothers and sisters. But we have to have a little bit more brotherhood than what we've been showing to one another, man.
Right.
Bob Kasha, if I could, can I get Matthew 5:38? So here's the thing. This is one of the I don't want to backtrack, but this is one of the foundational premises of Martin Luther King's movement, right? So he loved to, you know what I'm saying, like we said earlier, like our oppressor was, you know what I'm saying, throwing smoke bombs and tear gas and sicking dogs and throwing rocks and bricks through windows, pouring hot coffee on them and ice cream. Got them looking stupid, you know what I'm saying? And he got Martin Luther King sitting. It was a newspaper clipping from like 16 from the mid early 1600s of Martin Luther King and a bunch of black people in suits and dressed up and all that, looking goofy, sitting at the counter with ice cream and caramel sauce and chocolate syrup, and you got coffee and whipped cream all over yourself, and you got white people spitting on you and yelling in your face, and it's just all you in the newspaper looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? And Martin Luther King, like, you know, we have to the foundation of his movement was nonviolent protest.
Yeah, nice.
Cause he like.
No,
nah, go ahead. What did you say?
Nah, if I could, I didn't mean to rip you.
Oh no, you 12.
You know what I'm saying? You just sit there and be a crash dummy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you want to sit there like you said, get spit in your face. Meanwhile, you can go to Auntie Mary's and Auntie, you know what I'm saying, one of them black-owned stores and go there and sit down and eat pie, eat anything you want. But then again, you want to go there and get spit on because you want to be equal to the so-called oppressor, man.
Damn right. You go sit in this. You go take hell from your oppressor, talking about some "we shall overcome," all of that, and then you go home and slap your wife. Or you go home and beat on your brother. You know what I'm saying? Treat your brother hatefully, man. But you catching all types of hell from your oppressor, holding hands and singing Kumbaya. You covered in, you looking like a chocolate sundae over there with syrup and sprinkles and all that, looking crazy. And then you taking that, but then you go home and treat your brother like garbage, man. We gotta do better. So like you got that scripture?
Which one was that? Matthew
5:38.
Come. The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 38. Ye have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth.
So this is how we treat one another, right? We like, man, somebody kick in my door and take everything I got. Man, I'm spinning the block till I say, I'm spinning the block till I see him, and then he out of there. You know what I'm saying? Somebody was selling my mama crack, you know what I'm saying, when I was a baby, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got no heart for nobody. I'm gonna sell somebody else mama some drugs and have them all strung out, put them through the same thing I went through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, we eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth when it comes to our people, man. Somebody step on your shoes, you gonna pull the strap out. That's how we think when it comes to our people, man. Go ahead, read on, Baba Kashai.
Khan. But I say unto you that ye resist not evil.
Ooh, see, this is how we treat our oppressor, though. We do what?
Resist not evil.
When it comes to our oppressor, we resist not evil. So we getting spit on, we getting slapped up. Our babies is choking on tear gas while your wife get hit in the head with a brick, and you getting slapped up and put in the back of a police car. You getting the Rodney King beat down. You getting, is that the right one?
That's
Rodney
right.
King. Yeah, you getting the Rodney King beat down. You getting good night. And you resisting not evil. Just like we do now. We hands up, don't shoot. No justice, no peace, defund the police. You know what I'm saying? We singing and rhyming in the streets. And then we go home, and when we go home and see that eviction notice on our front door. So we like, man, I gotta hit a lick, man. I gotta run somebody's pockets. You gotta do something, and you looking at your brother as the lick that you as the come up. But when it come to your oppressor, you know justice, no peace. Hands up, don't shoot. You real submissive when it come to your oppressor. This is what is wrong with our people, man. We don't know where to apply our knowledge, man. We learned, Slack, you wanna go ahead and finish that off, Baba Kashai?
Come. But whosoever shall smite thee on the right cheek, turn to him the other also.
We only got this level of love and this level of brotherhood for our oppressor, man. We got it mixed up, man. We have no. When was the last time you can't let? Of course, this is a metaphor, but like when was the last time a black man could not imagine letting another grown man slap them in their face and you just gonna offer them the other side too, like here you go, you hit me up here too. Like we don't have that type of love for our people, man. Now, of course, you know what I'm saying, this scripture just means, you know what I'm saying, giving your brother a clean slate. If he offends you, if he wrongs you, you give him the side that you give them the side that hasn't been bruised, that hasn't been offended, that hasn't been, you know what I'm saying, hasn't been afflicted, man. But we only do that to our oppressor, man. Like they had us in captivity, man, and you gotta carry that trauma in your life, all your life, and you gotta pass that trauma down to your children, man, and your children's children. And you give your oppressor the part of you that's not traumatized. You go to work and you be like, oh yes sir, yeah boss, yeah, you want some coffee? I brought you some donuts, sir. Yeah, what can I do? Yes sir, you got it, buddy. You switch it all the way up for your oppressor. You give him the side of you that hasn't been traumatized, man. When that side of you that hasn't been traumatized, that can still love another man after you've been abused, you give that to your oppressor, man. You're supposed to give that side to your brother, man.
Damn right. That's right.
And we got Martin Luther King to thank for that. We got the Christian church to thank for that, man. The fact that we can't love our own people, but we love everybody else, man. Right. We got these lies that we inherit, man. And it's all because we don't hold ourselves accountable, man. Right. We didn't hold Martin Luther King accountable when he held himself accountable. We don't hold the Christian church accountable, man. When we see the lies, we don't hold anybody accountable, man. We see the lies and then we still want to partake. We still want to partake in the lies, man. And you know, we got to do better, man, because at this point, we know better. We know better because we have access to so much information, man.
Right.
We have access to the truth. It's right here, man. It's right here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. On YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, Clubhouse, whatever, name your favorite social media platform, man. We there. If we not there, we on the way, man. But the truth is out there. It's here for you, man, to find and to mirror your life after, man. It's very, you know what I'm saying, it's right here. It's not hidden from you anymore, man. You got something to burn?
Yeah, I got some. I'm gonna say this: Martin Luther King created a generation of I'm gonna say coons.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say that.
I know what you wanted to say.
And I got a precept.
Oh, Baba Kashai.
Okay. Who we at with it? Okay, so no, it's at Jeremiah 23:25. You know what I'm saying? I have heard what the prophet said. That prophesied lies in my name, saying, I have a dream. I have a dream.
Ooh-wee.
Verse 26. How long shall this be in the hearts of the prophets that prophesy lies? Ye, they are prophets of the deceit of their own hearts.
Ooh-wee. Martin Luther King right there, he was a prophet of the deceit of his own heart, man. So him talking about some, I have a dream, I have dreamed, all of that, man. It was from the deceit of his own heart, man. Because he wanted something that was very wicked, man. He envied his oppressor, which the Most High told us not to do. And he wanted to experience what it was like to sleep with his oppressor's women, man. Just like the priest brought out earlier, man. We love darkness, man, because our deeds are evil, man. And that's what Martin Luther King was on, man.
Right.
He loved darkness, man. He loved darkness, man, because his deeds were evil, man.
Right.
And his evil deeds led so many people to the slaughterhouse. Just like so many of our evil deeds today, as we think is this small, and it balloons into something incredibly huge and detrimental to our people, man. Because and it's not that, I wish we could say that we don't know better, but that window of what's the word? That, like, you can't, that excuse is not, we can't do that. No, we can't even use that excuse no more, man. Because we know better. Like, we are hungry for knowledge, so we looking for knowledge, man. And we find it, and then we do nothing about it, man.
Right, that's right.
You had something else you wanted to bring out?
Yeah, Shalaki. And if I could, like, just cause, like, okay, what Martin Luther King created is evil, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he got our brothers and sisters thinking that you can come up with the oppressor. You know what I'm saying? He got our brothers and sisters saying, like, you know what I'm saying, we all know about sports, you know what I'm saying? The athlete thing, if they can make enough money, they can get a white woman. Or like when you say, like, Martin Luther King, he got our people thinking of being a good, being with a white woman or a white man, that you're, you know what I'm saying, you're a good person. You know what I'm saying? But you know, the Bible says different. You know what I'm saying? If you with a different race of, different nation of women, you know what I'm saying, that's unlawful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to be part of these people, that's unlawful. But Martin King wouldn't get what the Bible said. But our people didn't get looked up to him as a figure. Just like with Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon, you know what I'm saying, people looked up to him as a figure, you know what I'm saying? And when he denounced that he was an Israelite because he got scared that his money was going to get taken away, the Lord took away his son.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel bad, you know what I'm saying? I feel bad for the brother, you know what I'm saying, to lose a child, you know what I'm saying? But the Lord, people understand the Lord is a fearful God. Like, he's fear, bro. Like, you gotta fear him, man.
Right.
Because he's not, you can't play around with him.
Right.
You play around with him, things happen to you.
Damn,
you know what I'm saying? Our people don't understand it because our president taught them different. Martin Luther King taught them different. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right. No swing. I was happy what you just brought up. Man, Martin Luther King taught us to be cowards, man. And that's why we got, you know what I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying, Nick Cannon, where, you know, in the information age, he found the truth. Like, he found some truth, right? And he tried to speak that truth, and he resorted back to being cowardice once he got some pushback, once he got confronted. Because, you know what I'm saying, speaking the truth is not easy, especially when the lie is what's putting money in your pocket.
Right.
Like, the lies that our oppressor, Baba Kashai, you got that quote that I sent you from the Washington Post? Like, when the lies are lucrative to our oppressor, man, and you come out with some truth, Like, of course your oppressor is gonna come up against you, man, and defend the lie.
Right.
Of course the oppressor is gonna have some pushback for you, man, and not allow that truth to come out, man. Like that's what you don't understand. That's what you don't understand unless you in the Israelite school, the universal practical knowledge.
Right.
You learn how to have courage, man, and to be a man and stand on the truth, man. But because of the Christian church, man, because of Christianity, man, you were taught lies, man, and you were taught to be cowards, man. And when you look, Lord be with that brother, man. But like the priest just brought up, man, the Lord is a terrible power, man.
Right.
And when you deny the Lord, you know what I'm saying, openly on a public platform like that, man, he gonna deny you. He is not gonna be with you, man.
Right.
So Lord be with that brother, and I pray that brother, you know what I'm saying, I pray that brother, you know, get right with. I pray the brother get it right, man. But Baba Shah, if you could.
From the Washington Post. Some preachers encourage slave owners to allow their slaves to attend worship services.
So this is talking about, you know what I'm saying, like how your Christian church inherited those lies that we believe today, man. We were forced by the sword, by the end of a whip, by the end of a barrel to teach, to believe lies. The lies are beaten into us, and then we were forced by the end of the barrel to teach those lies to a multitude of people, man, to create a system to keep us docile, man. So then us believing those lies, we teach our children, and then generation by generation, we just believe the lie, and it just becomes our culture. All right, go ahead, read on.
Gone. Though only in separate gatherings led by white pro-slavery preachers.
So we were allowed to attend worship services, right? We were allowed to attend church, but only in separate gatherings. So separated from every other. So separated from them. You know what I'm saying? What they were learning and what they were reading, and we had to be led by pro-slavery preachers, man. So people whose agenda was to keep us docile and in slavery, to put money in their pockets, they were the ones teaching us the doctrine that we learn in the Christian church today, right? Go ahead, read on.
They had to be seated in the back or the balcony of a segregated church.
Right.
Those men of God argued that the sermons on the injunction in Ephesians and Colossians, slaves, obey your earthly master, would promote docility among enslaved workers.
Good night. So they of course, they will read you that slaves obey your masters, but they wouldn't read you the part where it says that masters be obedient to your servants and be kind to your servants. Like, and it damn sure wasn't talking about our oppressor ruling over us in that scripture, but like, they would gladly teach you servants obey your masters, and then close the book and then go into exactly what we do in a Christian church. They'll read one verse and then, you know what I'm saying, go into a whole rant, and they just start freestyling, you know what I'm saying? Like, just to keep you, and it was to keep you docile, man.
Right.
It was to keep you docile, man, and to keep you enslaved, and to keep you to be a good, hard-working Negro. Go ahead, read on.
Gone. Washington's Museum of the Bible displays a slave Bible.
A what Bible?
A slave Bible.
Right.
Published in 1807, which removed portions of scripture, including the Exodus story, that could inspire rebellious thinking.
Right. So the Bible that they taught us from. So we like to say that a white man wrote the Bible, and, you know what I'm saying, it was written by white men and it was used to enslave us. It was, you know what I'm saying, that's true, but it was not the same Bible that we are reading from, man. They took out scriptures they took the Bible that they published, the slave Bible that they published in 1807 was used to put us in captivity and keep us docile, but that is not the same Bible that was passed down from that's thousands of years old, man. It's not the same Bible that was translated from Hebrew and Greek, man, in 1611 by King James, who was another black man. It's not the same Bible, man. They are teaching you a tamper with doctrine, man, where they remove scriptures, man, and taught you to love your oppressor, man, and be docile. The slave Bible is that half Bible that you get in the Christian church. It's about this big, and it only got the New Testament in it, and that new international version, and the new updated and the new living, the NLV and the NIV and all of that, like the New King, like all of that, all of those different versions of the Bibles, that is your slave Bible, man. If you compare it side by side, you'll see that there are scriptures removed from that Bible, man, and changed and confused in that Bible, man, because it wasn't translated from the original text, man. But that's what we gotta realize, man. Once we realize that we were the things that we think that we know now are things that were forced down our throat and taught to us to keep us docile, then we have to ask ourselves the question, man, what do we do from there, man? And we have to take accountability, man, for our people. Once we know the truth, we have to be the ones to teach our people the truth, man. Because right now, lies are abundant, man. But once you know the truth, man, you have to have the courage, man, and the brotherhood and the love for your brother and your sister and your children to teach your brothers the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? With that, man, that's gonna conclude this Tuesday night Brotherhood class, man. I appreciate everybody who was in the chat or in the. Well, we got any questions in the chat before we close it down? Salakia. Any questions in the room? Okay, no sweat. With that, I appreciate everybody who came to class and everybody that was in the chat tuning in, everybody that was on YouTube, Facebook, and all of that tuning in. With that, we're going to pass the class over Precinct Officer 500 Tapazar for the security announcements.
These are the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashera. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Given to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests. Not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Up and coming holy convocations. The 14th day of the Salakia, the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month. Monday the 14th February and Tuesday the 15th February 2022 is the Feast of Purim. This can be found in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 20 through 31. Remind Akim and Akwafium to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarves. And this concludes the security announcements.
With that, Imadium, which means to stand. I'm going to start, face the east, and do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew and in the English. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Wadash.
Wadash.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Malakaka.
Malakaka.
Taba'ah.
Taba'ah.
Ratazaka.
Ratazaka.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Hasha.
Hasha.
Arataza.
Arataza.
Bawa.
Bawa.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Washamayim.
Washamayim.
Lathundanawa.
Lathundanawa.
Lakum.
Lakum.
Call.
Yawam.
Wasalakanawa.
Wasalakanawa.
Kabawatanawa.
Kabawatanawa.
Kasalaknawa.
Kasalakanawa.
Kabawatinawa.
Kabawatanawa.
Wala'ah. Tabia'anawa.
Taba'ayanawa.
Wanasayawan.
Wanasayawan.
Abal. Awashayanawa.
Bashayanawa.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Ra. Kaya. Laka.
Haka.
Amalakwa.
Tabalakwa.
Wa'ala.
Wa'ala.
Wa'atapa'ara.
Wa'atapa'ara.
Wa'aiwalamyu.
Wa'aiwalamyu.
Amun.
Amun.
In English, our Father.
Our Father.
Which art in heaven.
Which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth.
In earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day.
Our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
Forgive us our debt.
Forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
Lead us not into temptation.
And lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it.
So we're going to face the brothers. Give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Mazel Shabbat, Madyam, Barak,
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatah.
Yadim Matah. We saw our face of sisters. Men of Israel, Mazel Shabbat, Madyam, Barak,
Yahweh Shema Latam Bashem Yahshua.
Shalom Yahweh Shema Latam Hashem Yahweh.
Yadim Matah. Dismiss.